You know, every year I test dozens of projectors, some overpromise and most underdeliver. Well, this one caught me off guard. It's called the Aurzen EAZZE D1R Cube, a Roku TV smart projector that brings true plug-and-play simplicity. There's no extra setup, no messy wires, just smooth visuals, clear Dolby sound, and your favorite shows ready to play. Aurzen says, see beyond the screen, and in this video I'm testing if they've actually made this projection better or similar experience to watching a giant TV. Let's jump right into it. Out of the box you get the projector, a power cord, the simplest Roku remote, and a quick starter guide. The build screams premium minimalism, rounded edges, flat bottom lens, and a sealed optical engine that blocks dust and reduces noise and keeps your image clean over time. It's whisper quiet too, under 32 decibels, about the level of a library. Plug it in and you're basically done. It boots up in under 8 seconds straight into Roku OS. Autofocus and keystone correction instantly sharpen and square your image. No manual dialing, no tripod gymnastics to be had. The offset lens projects the entire image above the tabletop so you get the full picture even from short distances. This is where Aurzen levels up. The all-in-one OS experience, built-in Roku TV, AirPlay, and screencasting. Everything is inside the cube. No dongles, no extra boxes. Roku's interface gives you instant access to the Roku channel with hundreds of free live channels, trending shows, and sports streams. It's intuitive, exactly what Roku is known for. And the simplest remote works great. Responsive, tactile, and yes, you can upgrade to a Roku Voice or Pro remote anytime. Or you can ditch the remote entirely. Use the Roku mobile app to search, voice command, or cast from your phone. Now this part most people skip over, but it's crucial. The D1R Cube uses a sealed projection engine. That means no dust particles get inside, no light leak, and less fan noise. I ran a side-by-side test against a traditional open engine projector, same scene, same brightness settings, and the Aurzen was quieter, cleaner, and showed no light bleed on dark scenes. In a dark room, the 330 ANSI lumens punch above their weight. You get a vivid 1080p image up to 150 inches across, and the contrast stays uniform edge to edge. In ambient light, you'll want to keep it around 80 to 100 inches for the best balance of brightness and color accuracy. AI dimming automatically boosts detail in dark scenes, which is great for movie nights. As I've said before, with some ambient lighting, it is absolutely watchable and fine, but you cannot handle direct sunlight with this, especially with just 330 lumens. But again, that is bright enough to create a beautiful image like this with the lights on. Now, this is part of the review where I really like to dwell a little bit, so please bear with me, because you really want to decide on getting the best bang for the buck for in low-cost category, basically. That's what this projector is in. And I've tested a whole bunch in this price category, and this is right up there for the best ROI in my opinion. As you can see, beautiful 1080p images, very decent contrast. These are my go-to scenes that I test, so that I just have a baseline for every projector that I review. And same with this movie scenes. I've tested these with many other projectors, and this is, to my surprise, performing very well. Obviously the contrast ratio is not in the range of those higher end projectors, but again, for what this is and how it's performing at this price point, I am very, very satisfied. Now, this will be a great projector for any of the guys that are getting together to watch sports or sporting events in any room of the house, and even at evening time in the outside area. There's nothing like gaming where it's super immersive on a giant screen. And as you can see, colors have a good amount of pop, and I wouldn't say it has the greatest latency, but for non-competitive online games, it is completely usable, and it actually is a very enhanced immersive experience. Audio is where this cube really shines. You've got a dual 5-watt speakers with Dolby Audio and neodymium magnets for clearer bass and mids. It's loud enough to fill a room, and I measured over 75 decibels at less than a meter away, and dialogue stays clear even at high volumes. You know, watching sports or action movies, you feel the depth without needing a sound bar. Let me be quiet for a second so you can hear it. Now here's why Aurzen calls it more than a TV. I used it in my living room upstairs, but you know, here in my theater with the lights on, NFL Sunday or MLB, whatever sports you're into, and then you've moved it to a bedroom for Netflix night, or even took it outside for an RV movie test or in your backyard or wherever. This thing is very light and mobile, and it just really works in any environment. Just make sure that you're not dealing with too much ambient light, and you'll have a great picture. One cube, every space, no mounts, no cables, just to plug it into power, and that's really it. Compared to a ton of other budget 1080p models, like some of the Yabbers or the XGMIs that I've checked out, this thing is quieter, simpler, and faster to set up. And sure, those might be brighter, but you won't get Roku TV if that is the environment that you're really used to. You know, Dolby audio as well, and this kind of autofocus stability at this price is hard to come by. And that sealed engine means it still looks good after a few months of use, with no dust spots or blobs inside and no real degradation. Now let me quickly talk about some of the settings that are available. Under picture settings, of course, you do have an HDMI input and some USB as well, but audio, further tuning and customization, a home screen, same thing, how you want your layout. And don't forget, it does have Apple AirPlay and HomeKit amongst some of the others as well. And under system, one of the more important settings for me is controlling other devices if you've got HDMI plugged in via CEC. And to expand more on picture settings, you've got a great bunch of options to make it to your taste. Under picture mode, I left it under the default Roku Smart Picture, but there's low power, standard, vivid, sports, and movie. I left it on Roku Smart Picture as it kind of detects what to do in a bright environment and in a less bright environment. And under expert settings, it was good to see that you can customize, contrast as well. This dynamic contrast low. I preferred to keep it at low, and then color temperature as well. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons. As for the pros, the all-in-one OS, the Roku, AirPlay, and being able to cast from your phone are all great. That simplest remote with full app control for seamless navigation. Autofocus and keystone is always a major plus for instant setup, and as is the dual 5-watt speakers with Dolby ATMOS with that deep bass. And then lastly, the sealed optical engine. It's quiet, clean, and dust-free. Now as for the cons, it's best in dim rooms. Keep in mind it is 330 ANSI lumens, not for bright daylight, and no lens shift or optical zoom, which is pretty standard at this price point. And the blacks basically, contrast I found to be very reasonable, but blacks lean towards gray due to the LCD tech. Overall, if you're someone who just wants to watch without work, this is for you. It's for families, students, apartment owners, travelers, and sports fans. It's small enough for a nightstand, strong enough for a movie wall, and smart enough to replace your TV. Think of it as a TV that fits everywhere and costs a fraction of the price. The Aurzen EAZZE D1R Cube isn't just a projector, it's a TV replacement for people who want simplicity without sacrifice. It's quiet, clean, feature-packed, and priced for everyone. If you're ready to see beyond the screen, check the link in the description for the latest pricing and if I have any active discount codes. I'm Game Room Theater, and this has been the Aurzen D1R Cube review. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you back in the cave. Make sure you like and subscribe, and check out for some new DIY videos that I've got coming up as well.